All right, so you took the plunge, you got your GR-55, you got a guitar with a GK3, or you got a guitar like this, but how do you set it up inside here? Well, let's find out. All right, after that, we're gonna go over to MIDI USB. Now, I don't use this at all, so I can't really give you any guidance on what exactly is gonna be happening here, but I don't use any MIDI on this. So apologize for that. So I'm gonna just skip over it. Go over to other, and there's a couple things in other. The guitar out, you wanna just be able to set it to what you want to happen. So in other words, you could put guitar out and it's going to be your patch going out. If you wanted to just have the guitar out having nothing going out, that's fine. Or normal pickup. Most people will use normal pickup on the guitar out source. That way they can, if they're using the GR-55 for their synth type things, but they still have a whole other effects pedals that they want to use for their actual guitar sound, they can use that too. So it's basically guitar out is the exact same as coming out of your guitar if it's set to normal pickup. Modeling, you can do the same thing, set that to just the model guitars in there, and you could set it to both. So say there's a model of like a, say you play a Stratocaster, but you're playing the model of the Les Paul in here, and you wanted that to go through your effects, you could as well. But I just leave it to patch. So in theory, I guess I could just go guitar out instead of left mono out. It would be the same thing. 440 is what the tuning of this is set to. You need to make sure that it's set to 440. I don't see any reason other than just something crazy you'd want anything less than that. But then tuner mute, that's when you go into tune mode and you push both of these down at the same time. It will mute your guitar, and I love this to be on, because when I get done with I play at church, when we get done playing, I'm able to just stomp these guys, go into tune mode, and I know that nothing is going to come out of my guitar. If I set my guitar down and accidentally hit the strings, it's not going to play some crazy sound. Audio player level, that's for the USB player built in here. The contrast, that's just going to set the contrast of your thing. I keep it on 5. And then power on and off, auto power. I keep it on, and the reason is because I don't like to leave, if I can help it, leave my equipment on for indefinite periods of time. After 10 hours, this just automatically turns itself off. So I figure if I haven't played for 10 hours, it probably doesn't need to be on anyway. And as soon as you power it up, it just goes back to the patch you had. I do think you probably would lose, if you have a setting that you haven't saved, probably would lose that save. But anyway, let's go back out to exit, go on over to the backup and internal, enter. If you wanted to back up or restore, you can, and they have the ability to, I think, do this to the USB. So put enter here. If I wanted to backup user data to USB memory. So if I wanted to put a USB on the side over here, it's just got like I'll show you here. It's got a little port here on the side that you can put like a USB stick in right here. And I actually don't ever use this. I keep this in here as my spare USB, just in case I ever need one. But I don't even have any songs on there. I just keep it there just in case. But you could back it up if I wanted. I probably should do that. Just back up all of my settings in case something would ever happen to this, or if I were to, I wouldn't have to start over. But another thing that this will do is, say you're, a professional that's playing and you're going overseas or something, and you've got a GR-55, and you can just put it in the writer of where you're playing that they need to provide you with the GR-55, and you could just save this to a memory stick, your USB, take it over to where you're playing, plug it into the new GR-55, and then load your settings up, and you don't even have to take your GR-55 with you. It's pretty sweet. Alright, then we're going into pedals and calibration, and basically you can just kind of like just set this for your guitar. So set the pedal to the minimum, which would be here, and it just, there's like a little, I guess potentiometer in there that's that is showing what the minimum is, but I've already done that, so I'm not going to redo it. If you wanted to go over here and say you've just really messed some stuff up, you can just reset this to the factory. And I do not want to do that, so I'm going to exit out of there. And also, what's really cool about the GR-55 is it comes with, they built this in together where it's a GR-55 for guitar and for bass. So if you have a bass that has a GK3 beat pickup, you can switch over to bass mode. And believe it or not, there's actually different sounds on the bass mode. I don't know why they didn't just put them all in together, but I guess there's more bass sounds over there. But it's pretty cool. So it's very versatile, the GR-55 is. And that's basically it there. I'm going to go over on the top here to master settings. You see here there's GK or pedal GK control settings here too. And you'll see that some of these are registered as system. And because my control, excuse me, my control is set to tap tempo on this for every single one of my patches. So if you know you want a function to be on every one of your patches, just set it in your systems and not in the individuals. See, this is in master for this individual patch. It's not the master for the whole unit. System is for the whole unit, master is for each patch. So on this, ambient worship, ambient distortion, amdist is how I have this. If I wanted to change something, let me go into edit mode. Here, I could change this where the control would be just for that, but I'd have to change that in every one of my patches. And I like this to be tap tempo all the time. And it's just gonna be the same exact settings as before. It's just this gives you the option to change them on each one of them. But for the most part, I just have everything set to system, because that way I don't have to worry about it all the time. Moving on to assign. This is if you have some sort of external MIDI device. Maybe you've got a pedal board, a MIDI pedal board that you want to set all these to. You can have each one of them, you can say, you know, assign number 1 and tell it what to do when you hit that button on the external MIDI keyboard, or MIDI, not keyboard, but controller. And in fact, I had like a Behringer controller that I got real cheap on Craigslist. I had it for over a year and I never set this up, so I sold it. And I kind of wish that I would have just set it up and tried it to see if I liked it or not. But anyway, I didn't. So you have your options on there, and then again over to the other, you can change some different things. So like with patch tempo to 78. That's what it has here. If I wanted to, you know, it's going to adjust whatever is here. So if you knew, for instance, that, you know, maybe the rest of your band is playing at 100 beats per minute, you could go ahead and set this and save it, and it would always, when it's turned on, start off with 100 beats per minute. I think it's pretty cool. GK set source, I've got it set to system. And I could also have it set to the different guitars that I have. But so, you know, that would be, for instance, if you were to, you'd use this if, say you had, the way I would do this is if you had multiple different guitars you were playing in a set, you know, you don't want to go in and have to turn off the guitar and turn on another guitar each time you play. So what this would do is in that individual patch, if say, you know, song number 1 is patch bank 1-01, and you wanted to play it with, you know, this guitar, and then this next patch 02 you wanted to play it with a different guitar, you could set that to be on there with a different guitar. And that actually would be very useful too if you, like for instance, for me, I have my acoustic guitar set up with the GK3 put in on it, and so those settings are very different than the Godin XTSA. So what I should probably do is have, even though I have basically about 4, maybe 5 or 6 different patches that I regularly use, I should probably set those up, a different set of patches that are just for the XTSA, Godin XTSA, and for my acoustic guitar. But then that's basically what that's for. So guitar out, same thing. We talked about this before, what the guitar out is going to do, and you know, if you want to set it to your guitar, your normal pickup, modeling, or both of them. And that would be just affecting just this right here. Alternate tuning. If you like some patches, you might want to have just an alternate tuning on it, and so you'd have to turn that on for this right here. And then you get all these different options on the alternate tuning: open D, open E, open G, open A, drop D, D modal, 1 step, half step down, 2 steps down, ear tone or bar tone, baritone, sorry, for a baritone guitar. Nashville guitar, I'm not really sure what that is. Octave down. So you have just all these different options on here that you can use. I don't use it ever. In these user shifts, these are the user shift for this user is if you wanted to create your own custom tuning. So maybe you wanted to just have some funky tuning reset. All right, the first string I want to be up a half step, second string down a half step. I don't know. You get the idea. V-Link, I don't use V-Link. So anyway, that kind of just goes through some of these guys here on what your options are there. I know this is kind of becoming a long video, but hopefully that helps you when setting up your GR-55, because it's kind of difficult to get set up. So just walking through here, that might help some of you guys. For some of the stuff that I don't know what it is, and you do, just please leave a comment. This is the GR-55 is kind of one of those communities where we're all kind of helping each other because there's so much involved in this unit. And so it's hopefully that's helpful to you. If you like this video, please hit the like, comment, subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll check you out in another video.